நால்வருக்கும் வாக்கிருந்த பூரணமாய் மறைக்கு அப்பாலாய் எல்லாமாய் எல்லாமாய் அல்லதுமாய் இருந்தவரை இருந்து காட்டி சொல்லாமல் சொன்னவரை நினையாமல் நினைந்துபவர் தொடக்கை வெல்வாம்.
சொல்லாமல் சொல்லுபவர்,
சொல்லாமல் சொன்னவரை நினையாமல் நினைந்து தொடக்கை வெல்வாம். A very beautiful sayul. We generally chant in front of Dakshinamurti. This is from Thiruvilayadal Puranam.
Thiruvilayadal Puranam. Okay. I think I can follow some, even though I don't understand these words that well, but some words I could pick up.
கல்லால் மரம், அதுல உட்கார்ந்து 4 முனிவர்கள் ஆக்கிருந்த பூரணமாய் மறைக்கப்பாலாய் பியாண்ட் த வேதாஸ் எல்லாமாய் எவ்ரிதிங் அல்லதுமாய் நத்திங் சொல்லாமல் சொன்னவரை இன் சைலன்ஸ் யூ செட் தொடக்கை வெல்வாம் நினையாமல் நினைந்து பவர் தொடக்கை வெல்வாம். I was very surprised, the exact the essence was there in that, so it came to my mind. I thought I will share with you.
Good, very good. Same essence is there in that in that soul also. Yeah, excellent. So sollamal சொல்லுபவரை. So saying things without saying, like that it says, but still that has to be properly understood. And so
exactly அதே மாதிரி நினையாமல் நினைந்து, without thinking I will think. Very beautifully written.
Without thinking. So there the Atma Tattvam. So even though the mind is there, I am not the mind. Atma is not a thinker. Mind is thinking, no doubt, but I am not a thinker. So like that. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Tamil Nadu, we visited one temple, Guruji. Sri Vancham temple. There 3 Nandis in succession. So he explained Ichha Shakti, Gnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Now I understood when you told it represents Maya, I recollected that.
Okay. So they have three Nandis, huh?
3 Nandis, yes.
Brilliant. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yama is the main deity there.
Okay.
He's called not Yama. He's called something else.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, the Yama. He's not called Yama, but he's main deity. Not the main deity. He has a separate Sannadhi.
Yeah, I've seen Yama Sannadhi. I've seen, and of course, when we do Sandhya Vandanam, we have a Yama Vandanam. We have some, every day we do that. Yama Vandanam, Yamaya Dharma Rajaya, like that we say.
Yeah, Dharma Raja Sannadhi only it is called.
Yeah, Dharma Raja, correct. Imagine calling the Lord of Death as Dharma Raja, right? So, something to think about. Yeah, Mahesh ji, go ahead.
So, when we explain this Dakshinamurti, we said he is formless. So, why do we have his statues in temples?
Why do we have statues of Dakshinamurti who is formless?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, see, the formless, when we say, how are we going to appreciate formlessness? Everything in this world has form. We have a form, and every word is a form, every sound is a form, every sight is a form, everything is form. Form. Without form, there is nothing. There is, you calling somebody, that name is a form. Somebody says Vivek, hey, call a name like that. Then it's a form. So everything is a form. So, but then, if formlessness is the essence, is the adhishthanam, is the substratum, if I can use that word, of everything, the entire Jagat. If the water is the essence of wave, but yet I can only recognize wave, you have no choice but to give a form. Give a form. So we are giving a form because you can't appreciate formlessness. We can only appreciate form. Through the form, we appreciate formlessness. Through form, we appreciate formlessness. And so this Murti, this is another unique thing about Sanatana Dharma. Murti Puja. Puja Murti. Swamiji used to always say, these Western and other people have lost out by demonizing this idol worship. They say idol worship and all that. And this is all nonsense. There is no idol worship. There is Ishvara worship. Through the Murti, we worship Ishvara. So even look at it. So why Dakshinamurti, Maheshji? Suppose you have Lakshmi in your puja. Okay, Lakshmi has a form. Saraswati has a form. Do you really believe Saraswati has a form? So even if she has a form, what kind of form will it be? This is our visualization of the entire knowledge, Saraswati. Saraswati is goddess for us, the devata of Vidya. Vidya Devi she is. How will you represent Vidya Devi? That is the question. We have to have a form. We can relate only with forms. And so it's the form is essential. And so that is why Dakshinamurti and as a form of Shiva. So we have no problem with that. So not just with this Dakshinamurti, with any form, this is what we say.
No, my context to that question was when I was living in Delhi, I remember to have gone to a temple somewhere in north, which was an empty room, and they had a dwara and all, and they opened and they say that is our formless, but they didn't call it as Dakshinamurti. So that is the only thing I have seen where there is no Murti. I mean, two places I have seen. One was that, the other one is in the Baha'i faith. That is formless. Like the Baha'i temple in Delhi, there is no form. So I was wondering whether that temple was indeed a Dakshinamurti. That's the reason I asked.
Yeah, so that shows that there are other traditions where for them formlessness is important. Ishvara is formless, very important. All pervasive, formless, so important. And so we appreciate that and formlessness. But in our tradition, we have formalized the puja aspect. So you go to Baha'i tradition, they may have some puja, but not like the way we do puja.
No.
So for us puja, so we relate. We have the ability to relate to Ishvara, relate to Bhagavan. He becomes my personal God, personal devata, Ishta devata. And Ishta devata means form is needed. Without a form, you can't visualize. And then you visualize, and then so the visualization is so important in developing that bhakti, correct? That relationship. And then you let go of it. The teaching will make you see that formlessness. And so that's the significance.
No, the first temple I went, it was a Hindu temple. All they had was a lamp inside the room, they opened, and people could sit outside and meditate or pray. So someone explained to me that is a formless God, and so now that you mentioned this Dakshinamurti, I was wondering whether they were meaning the same thing. I don't know.
I think in
So
Chidambaram also there is no
Chidambaram Ragasyam is that.
So Chidambaram. So Akasha Tattva, Chidambaram. Chidambaram also you have the same thing, which is you just have a lamp, and and that's it, and it represents space. Chid, Akasha.
A Rudrakshamala.
A Rudrakshamala will be there, correct. And so there is nothing else. There is no Murti. You can't go and you can't see a Murti there. And so that is a representation of it's closer to the fact that it actually represents formlessness. And we all need forms in order to relate. And so form is there, but form is not the Paramarthika Satyam. Okay, it is not absolute truth.
Jaykumarji, even for the formless, you need a small form, like for example, a flame or a Rudrakshamala or a Damaru, isn't it?
Yeah. So why do they keep all that? How do you have to you have to focus your attention on something? That something cannot be formless.
Exactly, that's why we do need form.
Yeah, definitely. So even that's why even meditation. So Saguna Brahma Manasa Vyaparaha. So a form, a Ishvara, Saguna Brahma Ishvara. So with attributes, Krishna, you visualize Krishna, and you should be able to visualize Krishna because there is a form, and he is standing. He has a flute. He is dressed up in brilliant clothes, yellow clothes, and then he has a peacock feather on his head. All this you can visualize, and then the meditation becomes very powerful. Now, then what about Nirguna Brahma? Can you meditate on something that is formless, that is attributeless? So it's difficult. It's difficult. It's not for everybody. And so because the minute you say I meditate on, that on has to be an object. You can't meditate on yourself because it's not possible. The subject and object cannot be identical in an act called meditation. So there are some technical issues there. But yeah, so point is, the form is there to help us. That is the most important thing. And the puja, that Murti puja is a very significant aspect of our Sanatana Dharma.
Jayakumar,
Yeah,
couple
1
of
second.
other things.
Yeah, go ahead, Haraprasad.
Yeah, you were talking about the north direction and the south direction. When a person gets sannyasa, they were given, they walk right at the time of the sannyasa, they walk some steps towards the north. North being the knowledge, the moksha, and all those things. Before, when they were walking, the Guru calls them back and gives them a set of upper clothing afterwards. That is one about the north direction. And secondly, is Chin Mudra and Jnana Mudra are the same?
Yeah, Chin Mudra and Jnana Mudra are the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, Divya, go ahead.
Yes, Guruji. I just wanted to add that in Kerala, Sri Narayana Guru, he had established a temple wherein the Murti is just a mirror, wherein you go and see that your reflection itself, and then you meditate upon it. So you worship yourself. Attomasi is also reflected there, actually.
Yeah, that's amazing, is it not?
Yeah, that is one thing. And the question which I had is like, in our tradition, we also worship Saraswati and Hayagriva also as gods. Right? So, I mean, is it Dakshinamurti, how is it different from Saraswati and Hayagriva? Is it like when we are learning the Vedic knowledge, then we worship Dakshinamurti more, or any other significance?
Yeah. So Saraswati, Saras refers to both Paravidya and Aparavidya. So means all knowledge. She is the embodiment of all knowledge. All knowledge, science, physics, biology, botany, everything we know, everything we are yet to know, all that she represents. And including Paravidya, including this Brahma Vidya, right? And but here Dakshinamurti, symbol of Paravidya, Brahma Vidya. So very specific. And especially because the Murti is also, like we discussed today's symbology, is also representing that model of the universe, etc. So that is why Dakshinamurti becomes more significant. It does not mean Saraswati should not be worshipped. That's not correct. And so I agree. I've seen that also. And Saraswati also. Yeah. Guru. So, but when they say Guru, they are referring to what? Saraswati or Dakshinamurti? Dakshinamurti. So Guru. So on Thursdays, if we go to any temple, they will be worshipping who? Dakshinamurti. The Guru. Wherever the Guru is there. So Guru, small Guru Murti will be there on the side of the temple. You can't even see properly. What is this? And you have to see. But because people are standing there and they know he's Guru, and so they worship Guru. And so that's how it works. Good. All right.
Jayakumarji, one more small thing on the Chinna Mudra.
Yeah.
The forefinger has to bend down. So forefinger which represents ahankara, and the thumb which represents this has bending down has to happen.
That's correct. So that means, but Bhagavan will not come to you. You have to go approach Bhagavan.
You have to bend, yes. You have to surrender.
Good. Yeah.
Dhanyavadaha, Mahodaya.
All right. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate. Yeah. Good. You can mute. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Thank you, Jayakumarji. Thank you, Jayakumarji.
Namaste.
Dhanyawad, Mahodaya.
Thank you.